The next order of business is consideration of a resolution on the issue of medical marijuana. Madam Clerk, if you'd give first reading, please. Councilmember Lamb, excuse me, but...
There is no first reading of that resolution. It is not officially on that docket.
If you would like to make a point of order, I have talked with law, and they have advised me that this is the way we need to proceed. But if you would like to...
I will make a point of order that the heading that is on our special meeting docket is not on there in its capacity of first reading. Point of order, I so move.
I'm going to ask for guidance from law.
Vice Mayor, I'm not sure who you may have had a discussion with, but I agree with Councilmember Lamb. This is not, and the reason why it's not under a heading of first reading is that it's not on unless the council wants to give it first reading. And so the council can decide if they want to give it first reading.
Okay. Thank you. In that case, I'll accept the point of order, and I'd like to ask Councilmember Stinnett to take the chair for a moment and be...
Yes, sir. Vice Mayor Kay.
Thank you. So, given where we are, I move to suspend the rules and walk on a resolution that's been circulated to all of the members of council. The resolution reads, a resolution encouraging the Kentucky General Assembly to consider legalizing medical cannabis in Kentucky and provide for the care, comfort, and relief of any Kentuckian who may benefit. So move.
Second. And we have a motion and a second. But Vice Mayor, I think we need clarification on your motion. You don't need to suspend the rules. It's just a true walk-on, because that affects how many votes we need. So,
thank you. So this is a motion simply to walk on this motion.
thank you, sir. We have a motion and a second. Discussion. All right, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That motion is on the agenda for first reading. Back to you, Vice Mayor.
Madam Clerk, do you have a copy of the
Yes, sir.
amended? Yes, thank you. If you'd give that first reading.
For first reading, a resolution encouraging the Kentucky General Assembly to consider legalizing medical cannabis in Kentucky and provide for the care, comfort, and relief of any Kentuckian who may benefit.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Brown.
This is not a real long resolution. Is there any reason why we can't just read the whole thing so that the public and everyone knows exactly the draft that we're looking at? I mean, it's
Without
pretty
objection,
simple.
without objection, Madam Clerk, if you would.
Let the clerk be the clerk.
Yeah, read the whole thing.
All right. Whereas thousands of Kentuckians suffer from debilitating pain and symptoms from numerous diseases or chronic illnesses, including but not limited to cancer, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, Crohn's disease, and fibromyalgia. And whereas medical cannabis is widely known to limit the negative symptoms and debilitating pain for patients of numerous diseases or chronic diseases, and whereas more than 2 million Americans use medical cannabis to ease the symptoms and debilitating pain due to illnesses or ailments in the 29 states and District of Columbia where such treatment is legal. And whereas the Journal of American Medical Association Internal Medicine reports that opioid overdose deaths have fallen by 25% in states that have legalized medical cannabis. And now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government, Section 1, that the above recitals are incorporated herein as if fully stated. Section 2, that the Urban County Council of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government hereby encourages the Kentucky General Assembly to consider legalizing medical cannabis in the Commonwealth of Kentucky and provide for the care, comfort, and relief of any Kentuckian who may benefit. Section 3, that the clerk of the Urban County Council is hereby authorized and directed to send a copy of this resolution to the President pro tempore of the Kentucky State Senate, the Speaker of the Kentucky State House of Representatives, the following state representatives: Russ Meyer, Stan Lee, James Kay, Philip Pratt, Sandy Overly, Kelly Flood, Ruth Ann Palumbo, George Brown Jr., Susan Westrom, and Robert Benvenuti III, and the following state senators: Alice Forgy Kerr, Reginald Thomas, Thomas Buford, Ralph Alvarado, and Jared Carpenter, that this resolution shall become effective on the date of passage.
Thank you. I will now ask if there's a motion to suspend the rules and give second reading.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and give second reading. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, I think the abbreviated version this time would be adequate.
For second reading, a resolution encouraging the Kentucky General Assembly to consider legalizing medical cannabis in Kentucky and provide for the care, comfort, and relief of any Kentuckian who may benefit.
Thank you.
Move
Is there a
approval.
motion to approve? I have a motion to approve, and second is the discussion on the motion.
Sir, who made the motion? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Mr. Stinnett? Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Bledsoe.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would be remiss if I just didn't take a few seconds and just comment on something that I think is really important. And that is I take my seat and my vote very seriously, like I know all of you do. We worked very hard to get here, many of us, went door to door, asked people for their vote. And not at one time did someone ask me about medical marijuana or state or federal issues. And I believe that's because people ask me about parks and public safety and how I felt about local and city issues. And I have a hard time presuming to vote on issues that presume from my district how they feel about issues that they've not elected me to address, to be honest. And I think we have to be very careful about how we use this body to do so. That being said, I support the motion. My father had terminal cancer and for 8 years fought very hard and in immense pain. And for that reason, I think it's important that the state take up the issue and address it. And I think that's what we need to do, and we need to be very careful about how we use this body to move forward. And I look forward to supporting the resolution. Thanks.
Thank you. No one else is signed on to speak. I just want to make a comment as well. The resolution as amended, as changed, takes out specific reference to the bill that's pending before the legislature, which is not an indication that we either do or do not support that. The council, as I understand it, the interest here is in speaking very clearly that right now we do not have the opportunity as a locality to rule on anything like medical marijuana. We would need state legislation to do that. We have heard testimony from a number of people about the importance of medical marijuana in their lives, and we are interested in having the state address this issue. There's a bill pending. Whether that's the bill that comes forward or whatever it is, we would like to see the issue of medical marijuana addressed at the state level so that we can consider it at the local level. It's an important issue for the community, and the council has worked hard to get to a place where we could get the support we have for this resolution. Anybody else wish to speak? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Bledsoe? Mr. Fred Brown?
Yes.
Mr. James Brown? Yes. Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Farmer? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Gibbs?
Yes.
Ms. Henson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kay?
Yes.
Ms. Lamb?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Maloney? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Plomin? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stinnett?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Worley?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
That vote reflects passage of the motion. Unless there's other business. Second. Have a motion to adjourn in a second. Without objection, we stand adjourned. Thank you all.